welcome back to the PhatPhish Guitar Studio. I'm Dave, and today we're going to be taking a look and a listen to this. It's the Plimsoll overdrive pedal from Fulltone. Okay, if you're not familiar with Fulltone, it's one of the higher end pedal manufacturers. They're not they're in the super boutique end of the market, but certainly they're price wise they're a step up from people like Boss and whatnot. Price wise for this pedal, it varies if you shop around, but probably in the area of about 150 to 180 pounds UK. What it costs in your region, I'm not sure. I'm in the UK, so prices that I check out are in sterling. So what do you get for the money? Well, it's handmade in the USA, all put together in this really heavy all metal construction case, finishing rather nice blue, purple sort of sparkle paint. Nice positive action on the foot switch. All the controls have a nice positive action to them, so you don't need to worry about if you knock them slightly, they're going to go way out of whack. All feels really good. Powered from a 9-volt battery, or it takes a DC input, from standard sort of power supply connector. What's interesting is it'll take anything from 9 volts all the way up to 18, and that will adjust affect the sound slightly whatever voltage you're running at. Today I happen to be running this at 12 volts. Controls that we've got down here, we've got level, sustain, high cut, and one called stage 2, which I'll talk about in a bit more detail later. The level control does pretty much what you expect. It's the volume control, is how loud the signal is coming out of the pedal. And obviously with drive pedals you tend to find the lower the gain, the quieter the pedal, so you need to compensate by turning the level control up a little bit. Likewise, as you turn the gain up, the pedal just naturally gets louder, so you need to back off on the level slightly. The unity on this, so basically where the volume of the pedal when the effect's engaged versus the volume when the pedal's bypassed, and by the way, it's a true bypass pedal, people who care about these things. The unity setting is relatively low, so you've got a bit of scope for turning the level up a bit and using it as a way of boosting the signal going into the preamp and driving it a little bit more. So that's the level control. Sustain is basically the amount of drive that's coming in to the signal, and high cut is basically a tone control, how much or how little of the high end signal is coming through. For all its high cut, it still works feels like a regular tone control. The further over to the left it is, the lower the tone, and further over to the right, the higher the tone. Despite the fact if it's high cut, actually I think if it's over to the right, it's actually not doing anything. It's the least engaged because it's not cutting, but it's just a detail. Think of it as a tone control. So this is how it sounds. For this demo I'm using the Fender Telecaster. This is the Fender Baja Tele 60s model. It's got a few pickup combinations which you don't get on a regular Tele, but for this demo I'll just stick to the bridge pickup because basically everyone knows what a bridge pickup on a Tele sounds like. This is the amp just on clean setting. And kick in the pedal. So this is with the level, sustain and high cut all straight up at 12 o'clock midway, and that stage 2 setting is off for now. So it's a nice, fairly mid-voiced drive sound coming out of that. Nice and natural. What I'm going to do now is show you what happens when we play around with this stage 2 knob a little bit. So the stage 2 knob gives you control over a second gain stage. So what you heard there was basically the pedal just working on its own, giving you some overdrive. There's a second gain stage in there which allows you to have overdrive signal going into overdrive signal, and this often gives you a more pleasing sound than just having more gain on one sound. So if you think about it, you could have a drive pedal, just turn the gain up a little bit more to give you more gain. Something that sounds, I think, better, certainly to my ears and to a lot of people's ears, is having a little bit of gain going into a little bit of gain, and then the sum total of that actually sounds better. So this stage 2 control gives us control over that second gain stage. So what you heard there, that's just with the stage 2 basically turned off, that controls all the way off. If I turn it, let's just turn it all the way up. So that fills the sound up a bit more gain, but like I say, it's coming in 2 stages. And what you'll notice that there's a little LED down there next to the control, which shows you basically how the pedal's reacting to your playing. So the harder I pick the string, so the more signal I'm putting in, so the more signal there is to be affected by that gain stage, and you can see how the pedal's reacting by the way that LED is flashing. Let's just turn that down sort of like halfway. And this is really annoying. It's something I really don't like, is that second control, there's no obvious indicator on it as to where it's set. You're basically doing it by feel. If you look really, really closely, and you know, at the sort of distance where it's on your pedal board, you can't see, you have to have it right close to your eye. There's a tiny, tiny dot on that little stage 2 knob. To be honest though, where it is in relation to where the maximum or minimum setting is on the knob, it's a bit arbitrary. So it's a bit of a downside. You need to kind of set that by feel. But anyway, that's the stage 2 set at about halfway. So I'm not too sure how well that's showing up on Bcam. It's because certainly from this angle, just where the LED's seated in the case, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to tell when the light's coming on, unless you're peering right over the top of the pedal. So from this angle, it's kind of difficult to see. But you should be able to tell a bit of a difference in sound between no stage 2, all stage 2, and kind of half stage 2. The effect's kind of subtle. It's not like adding in tons and tons of more saturation or anything, but it just gives you a bit more control over the sound. Okay, let's play around with the level and the sustain still set at 12 o'clock. Just play around with the high cut setting. Let's turn the high cut all the way down. So this is basically cutting more treble out of the sound. For me, that's starting to sound a little bit woolly. Just the way the pedal's voiced, it's quite mid-range. It's got quite a bit in the mid-range. So when you take the treble out, I think it loses some of its punch. Let's take that control and set it all the other way. So this is with the high cut basically on all the way over to the right, so letting all of the treble signal through. writer certainly cuts through a lot more when you've got the treble in there, because there's more trouble getting through. It definitely feels louder. I might have to adjust this a little bit when I edit the video and mix the audio track in, but certainly in the room when you turn that high cut up to the right, the sound's definitely sounding a little bit louder. Okay, we'll set the high cut back in the middle and play around a bit with the sustain control. Okay, so the sustain control all the way over to the left. This is the lowest amount of overdrive. You'll have noticed I've had to turn the level up a little bit to compensate, but basically what I've done there is just balance it so that the signal of with the effect in is as loud as it would be without the effect. So the drive effect there is very subtle. There's not a whole lot of gain, a whole lot of hair on the sound, but certainly there is something there. Just get you something a little bit more interesting than a basic Plimsoll. And again, we can play around with the stage 2 control. So let's turn that up all the way. So that brings a little bit more drive in. So this is where the Plimsoll is certainly a lot more flexible than a drive pedal like the OCD, because you've got that second gain stage. You can sort of balance a little bit of drive with a little bit of drive from stage 2. Okay, let's go the other way. Back off on stage 2 a little bit. Take the sustain all the way up. So maximum drive. A lot more overdrive there. Like I said, this is the highest gain drive pedal that Fulltone do, and there's plenty there. We're not getting super high saturation distortion sort of thing you'd be using for metal or anything like that, but certainly it has got plenty of drive available in the pedal as it stands. Everything we've heard so far, this is the guitar into the pedal, into the clean channel on the amp. One thing an overdrive pedal is really useful for is going into a slightly distorted dirty channel on the amplifier. I was talking before about stacking gain stages, the way that this pedal gives you the stage 2 to go on top of the standard overdrive that's available in the pedal. What we can do is take the signal from the overdrive pedal into a distorted channel on the amp. So if I turn the pedal off and go to the dirty channel on the amp, this is a reasonable amount of gain on here. It's quite a gainy amp that I'm playing. It's the PV Valve King 50. Go back to the pedal, all the controls at 12 o'clock. And that's really effective to my ears. You've got gain stage on top of gain stage, you've got that stage 2 as well, giving you a little bit more. And it gives you a really nice full, it really thickens up the drive channel on the amp, and it just, for me, just really sings. Plenty sustain there. And the sustain setting here is only halfway, so if we wanted to turn the drive right the way up, even let's try using the level control, take that up a notch. So now we've got more level going in, so the pedal's actually slightly louder than Unity, so this is starting to drive the amp a little bit more. Tons and tons of drive there, and the sustain setting, the drive coming from the pedals only on halfway, but Now this really is, I think, starting to take you almost towards like metal territory. Bear in mind I'm only using a single coil pickup on a Telecaster here, but there's lots of drive there, and the sustain setting on the pedal itself, the drive coming out the pedal is only on halfway. So lots of scope here, and bear in mind this is just a Telecaster with a single coil pickup. Play something with humbuckers, give you a lot more drive, a lot more thickness and body to the sound. So verdict on this one, yeah, I really like it. It's been on my board for well over a year now. It's taken me a while to get around to doing a video about it. I really like it. I'm not a fan so much of buying something because it's got more features than something else. And sometimes something that's got just a really simple set of controls is actually more usable than something that's infinitely tweakable. But this one, that second gain stage, it does serve a purpose. I am able to introduce it into my standard drive sound to tweak it a little bit. Really nice pedal. Like I said, I enjoy using it. I've got confidence in it. It is very well built, you know, and that matters. You know, if you're taking your pedal board, you know, to gigs and so on, you don't want to be worrying about, is the plastic, you know, this pedal a little bit plasticky and flimsy and it might get damaged and you're going to be left without a drive pedal for the night, or you're going to be rushing around at the last minute trying to scrounge a pedal from somebody. No, this is really well built. You can kind of see where that bit extra purchase price goes. Yes, there's the quality of the sound and there's the positive feel of the control, but it's just the quality of the construction is there as well, and that's part of what you're paying for. If you're in the market for drive pedals, certainly the Fulltone pedal range, there's some really good pedals in there. If you want something a bit more simplistic, there's the OCD, which doesn't have that second gain stage, as well, worth checking out as well. But certainly the Plimsoll I really like, and I would recommend that you check it out for yourself. I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please click like, please subscribe down there and leave a comment if you want. If you've got a question or suggestion for something you want me to cover in a future video, then if you go here, fill the form in, send your question in, I'll try and get around to answering it in a future video. That form is a bit more reliable than leaving comments on videos, because YouTube doesn't always let me know when people comment on videos, so questions are left in the comment section can sometimes go unseen. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Bye for now.